Indian Space Research Organization's Chandrayaan-3 mission has started its descent, its final descent to make a soft landing on the moon. And this is going to be the first soft landing on the south pole of the moon. And before that, we'll just give you a little bit of background of India's space research till now. The Indian Space Research Organization was established in 1969. It was basically born out of the Indian National Committee for Space Research, which was established under Vikram Sarabhai in 1962. After that, India has has achieved major milestones throughout its history. For instance, the first satellite launch in 1975, the Aryabhatta. Then in 1980, India developed its own indigenous satellite launch vehicle, the SLV-3, which launched the experimental satellites which were named as Rohini. And after that, in 1994, India's Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle made a successful mission. And 2008, Chandrayaan-1 was successfully launched. I think its impact, there were some significant things that were achieved by Chandrayaan-1.
Yeah, so it was launched in 2008 and it had a lifetime of 2 years, but then it shut down before it completed a year, but not before, providing conclusive evidence for the presence of water on the moon. So there were two instruments that were important to this discovery. One is the moon probe, which was developed by ISRO, and it was intentionally made to crash onto the moon surface. And so through that, they were able to, it suggested that there was a presence of water. And then Chandrayaan-1 also carried the M3 instrument, which was designed by NASA. And that provided conclusive results that, through hydroxide and also the presence of water on the moon. So that was Chandrayaan-1.
So after that, 2013, the ISRO launched its Mangalyaan mission, or the Mars Orbiter mission, which successfully put a spacecraft into the Martian orbit in September 2014. And it was the first Mars mission which got successful in its first attempt. And so after that, India also launched its anti-satellite test. It conducted the DRDO conducted its anti-satellite test in March 2019, and then Chandrayaan-2 was launched in 2019 July, and it had to make a soft landing on the moon on September 7th, but it failed because of certain reasons, certain technical glitches that happened at the very last moment. For instance, I think in the fine braking phase of the lander, of Vikram's landing, it basically started accumulating errors because of the engines basically having more thrust than they should have. And because of that, and also because the space in which the lander had to make the landing, that was too small, and it did not decrease its velocity as much as it should have. But I think a lot of improvements have been made in Chandrayaan-3.
Yes. So for one, they have made the legs. So the lander will land. I mean, you have the four legs, and that's how it's going to land. And that has been made more sturdy. It has a foot pad to actually absorb the impact energy. It also has a front-facing camera that will deliver, real-time images to the ground station, and it'll also guide autonomous navigation as well as maneuvers in case there's a hazard. It has sensors basically to basically provide information on the speed as well as the location. And they've also made improvements in the software. I think last time there was a technical glitch in the software and hardware. So that's, they've improved that. They've improved the propulsion system, and they've actually performed a lot of simulations and tests to ensure that, there is a soft and a safe landing. So Also, this is going to be India will be the first to land on the South Pole.
Yes, India is going to be the first to land on the South Pole. South Pole is strategically very important because of presence of water around there. And basically, if humans in the future try to make moon habitable and try to establish a colony there, the South Pole would be an ideal place to do that because of the presence of water. So that is there, but it's very difficult to land
Yeah.
on the south pole of the moon, and I think you can.
Yeah. So one thing is like you don't have any GPS, you don't have the gravity is too less, and you don't have an atmosphere to slow down the lander. So there's that, and there also in the South Pole there they it's permanently shadowed region, so there's not enough sunlight, and there are a lot of craters in this particular region, so it's going to be very challenging. Luna 25, which was Russia going back to the moon after 40 odd years. They actually, it was launched on August 10th, and it was supposed to and it actually they lost communication on August 19th, and it
Basically crashed.
So that was also supposed to happen on the South Pole.
Mhm.
So all eyes are on ISRO. So we can.
Yeah, we can cut to the live feed. So we can also give you a brief overview of the journey till now. The Chandrayaan-3 was launched on July 14th, and after that, it made quite a few of orbital maneuvers around the Earth, first of all, and then it went into a translunar injection on August 1st, and then lunar orbiter insertion happened on August 5th, and lander module got separated from the orbiter module on the propulsion module on August 17th. And after that, the lander module has been circularizing its orbit. And at 5:44 today, it basically came to the point from where the descent has to happen. And at 6:04 is the estimated time for the final landing, soft landing on the moon, which would be a historic moment for ISRO and India. We can cut to the live feed now.
Yes, we are privileged to have with us Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has joined us from South Africa's Johannesburg to encourage us.
जी हाँ, आप ये देख सकते हैं एल्टीट्यूड होल्ड फेस भी बहुत ही आसानी से लैंडर फेस ने पार कर लिया है और अब फाइन ब्रेकिंग की शुरुआत हो चुकी है। अभी हम ये देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 5.6 किलोमीटर है, जो कि इस फेज के उपरांत लगभग 800 मीटर हो जाएगी।
We can hear from the mission operations team that the sensors are performing nominally, and we are currently in the midst of the fine braking phase, which is going to continue for 3 minutes, and the altitude is going to be reduced to nearly 800 meters at the end of this phase.
जी हाँ, जैसा कि आरुषि जी ने बताया कि लगभग 3 मिनट के उपरांत लैंडर की हाइट लगभग 800 मीटर वर्टिकली होगी और यहाँ पे लैंडर की हॉरिजेंटल वेलोसिटी, वर्टिकल वेलोसिटी, इवन डाउन रेंज भी लगभग शून्य होगा।
We can see the visual of the lander module,
So basically,
and
in
we
this
can see
phase,
that the downrange
the
traveled
lander
is nearly
changing
831
from
kilometers.
horizontal velocity to vertical velocity, and at some point of time, it has to basically hover over the landing spot, and then that would be around at when it is at 400 or 500 meters above the lunar surface, and from there the final
जी
descent
हाँ,
starts.
आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई अब चंद्रमा के सतह से लगभग 3 किलोमीटर से कम हो चुकी है।
Seems to be going pretty well till now.
We are very close to the moon's surface, nearly 2.6 kilometers, as we can see.
Kilometer altitude.
Yeah, the lander is almost vertical now.
जी हाँ, अभी आप देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 1 किलोमीटर के आसपास है।
We are nearing the final phase of the power descent, which is going to be the vertical descent phase or the local navigation phase.
जी हाँ, अब हम फाइन ब्रेकिंग वेव के एकदम करीब आ चुके हैं। हाँ, आप तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट से सुन सकते हैं कि हम लोगों ने तीसरे चरण को भी बहुत ही सफलतापूर्वक हासिल कर लिया है और अभी हम वर्टिकल डिसेंट फेज में आ चुके हैं, जिसकी शुरुआत भी बहुत ही अच्छे ढंग से हो चुकी है।
Lot of applause indicates that till now the performance has been nominal. We are in the vertical descent phase 1. The altitude is being brought down from 800 meters, and we are nearing and approaching the lunar surface.
जी, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर का हाइट लगातार कम होता जा रहा है। इस समय हम लैंडिंग साइट के जस्ट ऊपर हैं और इस समय इसकी ऊंचाई लगभग 600 मीटर के आसपास है। इस फेज के दौरान लगभग 150 मीटर के ऊंचाई पे पहुंचने के बाद लैंडर अगेन लगभग 20 से 22 सेकंड के लिए हॉवरिंग करेगा।
We are above the landing site. The horizontal as well as the vertical velocity is now being constantly reduced.
Meters.
And the lander module has begun its descent towards the landing site.
It's descending quickly now.
जी हाँ, अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं, ये जो पथ निर्धारित किया गया है, लैंडर पूरी तरह से उसी को ही फॉलो कर रहा है। इस समय हम लगभग 200 मीटर की हाइट से भी कम आ चुके हैं।
Only about 200 meters away.
अब हम ये देख सकते हैं कि हम लगभग 150 मीटर की ऊंचाई पे हैं चंद्रमा के सतह से।
We are approaching the vertical descent phase 2, which will have the lander module hovering at nearly 150 meters above the lunar surface.
जी हाँ, आप इस तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट को सुन सकते हैं, जो कि सेकंड हैवरिक फेज के कंप्लीट होने के बाद इन सारे वैज्ञानिकों के द्वारा की जा रही है। जी हाँ, आप अगर फिर से ध्यान से देखें तो एल्टीट्यूड पुनः कम होता जा रहा है। अभी हम लोग लगभग 135 मीटर की ऊंचाई पे हैं।
The sensors that are updating at this point are providing confirmation of the safety of the landing site.
As expected, the retargeting is going on, and this is a very good signature for the lander. अभी आप ये देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 65 मीटर के आसपास बची हुई है।
Currently, only 2 engines are now being fired, and we are nearly at zero velocity, vertical and horizontal. We were hovering, and now we are approaching the moon's surface.
धीरे धीरे लैंडर की वेगमान को कम किया जा रहा है और हम अब लगभग 50 मीटर से भी कम आ चुके हैं।
We can see the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who is here to encourage us, and he is critically looking at the visuals.
जी हाँ, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर
Okay.
India touches down on the moon.
This is truly a historic day for the country. The first to soft land on the south pole of the moon on its second attempt.
But the first country to do it, and great historic achievement for India and the Indian Space Research Organization today.
So now, what's next? So there are 6 payloads on the lander as well as the rover. So you have so the rover will actually survive for 1 lunar day, which is 14 Earth days, and it will measure. There are instruments to measure the thermal properties of the moon, to measure the seismicity of the area around the landing site, also to study the dynamics of the moon, the elemental composition, mineralogical composition, and also there is another instrument called SHAPE, which will study potentially habitable planets, exoplanets.
It will also explore the habitability of Earth. It will also basically analyze the habitability of Earth, and also look for exoplanets elsewhere in the galaxy, basically. And so yeah, those are the instruments that are there on Chandrayaan-3, and the rover Pragyan will be coming out of the lander at some point of time, and it will be and both the lander and the rover have a time lifespan of 14 Earth days.
Yeah, that's 1 lunar
day. Lunar day.
So here's hoping that more discoveries come out of this mission.
Yeah, and hope that India goes on to make more successful missions in the future, especially with the Gaganyaan, which has to happen next year, I think. The manned mission.
They have their first of the tests that they do this year.
Yeah.
And there's Aditya.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have lots to look forward to.